I think we can just chill out a little bit, enjoy it,
Well,
let
haven't been
the
chilled
wheels
enough.
off. No, well, you know. No, let's start that again. Let the wheels off? No.
We're letting the wheels off.
Okay.
I mean, don't ask me for correction on sayings.
What we got here? It's the last episode in this series. Episode 8 of season 3 of Running Loose. Can you believe we've been going that long?
No. Also, somebody said to me a couple of times, who just generally takes the piss out of me. She was just like, how do you choose on how you do a series or an episode? You guys just make it up totally randomly, which is absolutely correct. We just decide when we want to start a series by our diaries and when we're going abroad and when we want holidays and stuff. Yeah. And then we decide on how much time we've got together independent on episodes, basically.
Yeah, basically.
That's fine.
And normally we have what has now been called the running disorder, because when you go on telly you have a running order of what's meant to be happening when. Ours is called the running disorder because it's normally fairly chaotic. We don't even have one of them this episode because it is the last one in the season and we've got a gin and tonic.
It's a shit old gin and tonic as well.
It's a bit iceless.
It's iceless, it's tasteless,
rimless.
It's not Edinburgh gin, it's rimless. Everyone hates a lack of rim.
Fitting.
Ming. I couldn't resist.
Moving on. It's quite fitting that we're having a gin and tonic in here because this is the red room at Tattersalls, where a lot of drinking is done and a lot of merriment occurs. And this is, so when you come here and you're buying horses or selling horses, there's a variety of different kind of food and drink options, right? There's the kind of cafe, there's the green room, which is more kind of like business class, and then there's the red room, which is kind of first class, where you come for like a top notch. We were actually just talking to one of the guys that's unpacking ahead of the sales. This will go out like halfway through the sales, but he's unpacking the wine, and he was just saying that like one of the bottles that are just unpacking, they sell for, was it $2,000 a bottle? Yeah.
And I said, how many would you sell of them? And he said a few, you know, dependent on the week, but a few of them.
Who's celebrating?
Yeah.
And what do you say? They've got about 600 odd bottles in, and that's only for the first 4 days of the sale.
It's mad. Like you say, it's funny where everyone hangs out, because there's also the Irish bar.
Oh, under the
sales ring. So that's where all the Irish hang out. Then there's the back bar, which is where all the kind of guys that work with the horses, guys and girls that work with the horses, will go to the back bar. Then there's the back cafe, which is where you go when you want a bit of time out, when it's all got a bit intense. Then there's the green room, which is like peak intensity, and like you say, it's kind of business class. Food's actually still really good in there, but everyone's in there all the time. You walk in there, it's just like, you know, you don't go in there if you don't want to see anyone, put it that way. And then there's the red room, which you have to book a table in, which is what we're in now. And on that table right over there, I have a very fun dinner every year with a group of like young people in racing, and I'm normally completely out of control, and I just love it, like sort of wheels off.
Yeah? Is that happening this year?
Yeah. It's happening the day this pod goes out. So stay tuned.
Do I get an invite?
I said young.
Oh, sorry, young, fun.
Young and fun. No, in fairness, just before this pod started, I did say you're around and you said no.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, it is quite jolly. And yeah, I've left here in quite a boozy state a few times, as you have done as well.
Yeah, I have. More recently, though, because I think the sales for me growing up, like my parents were obviously buying and selling. So it was very much like a work environment. So I think I only ever have eaten in the green room, and then more recently had friends that kind of
upgraded
it a little bit more, like enjoy it a bit more.
I want
come and have dinner with us in the red room, which can be really fun.
I actually have some fun tales in here. Shall I tell them?
Mm-hmm.
So one time I was in here, oh my God. So twofold story. So my mum came, I was working here at the sales. If you'd listened to the previous podcast, you'll know about me working here at the sales. So I was working here at the sales, and my mum came down here to like see me or something. And she ended up having a dinner in here, which I wasn't invited to because it's like too posh for me, and I was sort of working out there. But I came in at the end, and my mum was so drunk, I had to take her home to bed. And then I went back out that night because I didn't want to go to bed yet. So I went back out. I was out every single night. I mean, I just gave it, my poor body gave it such a kick. I was out every single night, couldn't give a night out up. So I was really worried about my mum. She was absolutely hammered, and I had to take her home to bed, and she didn't know like where we were staying or anything. So I just like bundled her into this bedroom, left her there. And I remember thinking like, if she's sick now, she could die. Like she doesn't even know, she doesn't even know where the loo is.
I'm off to
and so I just
these days.
Well, that was when we were going to the yard, flat out in the yard. Over the road to De Niro's.
I thought you were too young for De Niro's.
Oh no, I had many a jolly night out in De Niro's. Yeah, one famously kept on taking a cup of tea in there.
You did?
I love a cup of tea late at night. And I used to have a cup of tea in De Niro's.
From where?
Pardon?
Where'd you get it from?
From the yard.
All right.
Get a cup of tea in the yard and then take it across to De Niro's. Yeah, that was where I was at. Yeah, young and fun.
But in my head I'm like, I'm sure loads of fun things have happened here. But then I just can't really remember them. I'm shit at remembering stories. I need to start writing them down.
Oh, well, I'm definitely going to release a book.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no,
Do you actually write anything down?
I write loads of
stuff
down.
You're like a comedian. Like, I'm going to keep this as material.
I have a bullet points on my, and what I'm really panic about is on my iPhone notes. And if ever anything went really wrong, I'd lose it all.
That's what I should
do. Copy and paste it onto an email.
Funny
but
things.
I write little things down, and even though I look back now and it jogs my memory, so literally some of them is like from nights out when I was in the yard flat out and stuff, and just funny things.
You should do a journaling.
I do a bit of journaling.
Do you?
When I'm in a really bad headspace, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, not bad headspace, but like when I just need to write some thoughts down.
Yeah, it actually does help.
I never read it back either. If I read it back, I'd be mortified. But sometimes just at night, it's like, oh, I'm a bit overcooked.
Yeah.
And then I just write it all down. Then I go to sleep and it's just like a release. Yeah. And I never read it back. And I'd hate to read it back. You could almost rip the page out and just start again. But yeah, God forbid if anyone finds that. You'll really find out what a psycho I am.
By the way, we started dressing similar again.
I know.
Green. You're kind of brown in the last episode.
Brown in the last episode, yeah, green. And then so we're going on our break, which means that you guys will obviously miss us terribly, but you'll go down under. And
we're off on our different adventures.
We have actually discussed this plenty, but just to recap, you're off a big few weeks in fairness.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you actually go for?
I went for, I think, kind of 2.5, nearly 3 weeks last year. And when I got back, Max was like, please never leave me for that long again.
Oh.
No, not like from a sentimental point of view, but
cute.
Need help with the
children.
children.
I thought he meant he missed you.
No, well, maybe
he missed your childcare.
He missed the childcare.
Right.
Fair enough, actually, because they are a triple handful. But no, I'll go. So I'll do Champions Day, which is on October the
19th, 18th.
18th?
Yep.
On the Saturday, anyway. And then I actually go to Norfolk because it's half term, so a bit of a kind of family holiday in Norfolk with the in-laws for a few days. Then I fly straight from there, from Stansted, to Melbourne. And then I pretty much hit the ground running. So despite the fact there's only 4 race days, so it goes Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, race day. The whole week before, there's like the Melbourne Cup carnival launch, and then there's the Birdcade launch, and then there's Breakfast with the Stars, and then there's a bunch of other activities. And I don't mind, because when I get there, I'm like, look, I'm here. I'm away from the family.
Stay with friends.
Hang on. I might as well like make the most of it. There's no point me sat around like in a hotel room or whatever doing nothing. So I'm like, right, come on, say to my agent, let's just fit in as many things as we can. And it's honestly like having a whole different life, because I'm suddenly in a city.
Young, free, single.
Well, not young. I can't kind of magically make myself young or single.
No, sorry, actually, she's not any of those.
All free, because my diary's like round.
Actually, sorry, I retract all of that.
But like, even, you probably don't know, but you do know from your days of being a nanny that the evenings is like, I haven't got to do bath time, I haven't got to feed little people, I haven't got to put them to bed, probably haven't got to cook dinner because I'm in a city and I can go out for dinner or order something in. So it's like a whole like weird
parallel universe type thing.
Parallel universe, and it's like here I am on the other side of the world.
And you must have loads of friends to catch up with. And your brother.
Well, yeah, annoyingly, my 2 best Australian friends. One now lives in Orange, which is country New South Wales, and one lives in Perth, which is really inconsiderate of them.
Yeah, they don't care for you at all.
No, I know, how dare they? But my brother is in Ballarat, which is like 2.5, about 2 hours outside of Melbourne, and I think I saw him for about 5 hours last year,
right?
Because he's obviously busy training horses, and just everyone's schedules are so flat out. But it's nice having him there, and yeah, it's a fun time to be there, because obviously the racing just like takes centre stage. And Melbourne's a really interesting city in the sense that the year is split up into different sporting events depending on what's going on. And each event kind of gets its moment to breathe. So they've just had the big AFL grand finals.
Right.
So that's kind of dominated this recent period. And then it becomes all about racing. Cool. And then you're going to test my knowledge here. I know it's tennis in like January time.
Yeah.
And then there's a Formula One,
right.
And then there's
that's so cool. So like when that like sport is in town, so to speak, everything's focused on that, and they give it the big one, and then they move on.
And when I say everything's focused, like it really is. I remember when I landed last year, it was 2 days before the Cox Plate, which is another one of their really big races at the Spring Carnival. And Via Sistina, do you remember her?
Yeah, of course.
Import from here. She was favourite for the race. And on the front page of their of the Daily Telegraph, I think it was like a daily paper, like the equivalent of our Daily Mail or something, was a picture of Via Sistina galloping at Moonee Valley and James McDonald, who was her jockey, falling off because her bandage had come loose. And I think she'd like half trodden on the bandage and like half tripped herself up. He came off and then she was doing like 3 laps of the track.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. Yeah.
But the fact that the fact that happened was kind of a bit dramatic.
That is quite dramatic, yeah.
And the fact that it's like front page news, like that's what it's like at that time of year in Melbourne.
So
it's just like front page news.
And tell me
when I used to go with the horses, like you'd be going to get your cup of coffee in the morning and people would be like, "Oh, how's your horse?" And you're like, "Sorry, what?" Like, because they'd seen the paper and I was obviously in the paper with the horses and it just really takes over.
I know we've said it loads. I do really want to go down there and I'll just have to give up the Breeders' Cup one year and go down there because obviously I'm going off to the Breeders' Cup, which we'll get to in a second. But last thing on Australia, just because I am fascinated by the female presenters, I feel like the glamour stakes is ramped up. Like you want to go have a look at some of the female Australian sports presenters and like, don't get me wrong, our lasses make a good effort. You obviously are like always done so nicely for ITV, hair, makeup, etc. But I feel like the Aussies take it to a whole nother level, which is probably actually where you obviously had your grounding, so that's true. But you know, in comparison to what we like base level of female presenters, appearance on air in the UK versus Australia is like
but then it's a visual medium, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're watching TV. People tuning in want to be entertained, they want to be informed, but they're also like wanting to see beautiful things. And that's why when I started with ITV, I was like, okay, and who's my stylist going to be? And they were like, we don't have a stylist. And I'm like, no, but I've come from a place where that is so important. Like there's a stylist for everybody across the board, because to make sure that the female talent, you know, aren't wearing the same thing or they're not kind of clashing, or the men have got the right kind of Derby Days black and white, for example, so everyone has to wear black and white. And I think it's a bit much to expect the presenters to do it themselves.
No, I get that totally. It's just so contrasting. I mean, bearing in mind what you're talking about presenting it like over here versus what I present at Wolverhampton. But I think we have had this discussion before, but you know, I go to Wolverhampton and I probably genuinely should make more of an effort with my appearance.
It is a bit.
But you know, I'm like, I haven't washed my hair, so I'll just put a cap on. Don't know what to wear underneath, so I'll just put like a few layers on and a coat over the top.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
you've got to dress for it's cold though. Yeah, there is. But I am always amazed at how glamorous they are. And my last thing on the Australian question and your time down there is the other thing of the Brits. Like there's loads of the Brits seem to get loads of presenting opportunities down there, is what I'm saying. What's all that about?
You're thinking Nick Luck, Hayley Moore.
Yeah, like as in, but even there's girls that have gone down there that have done really well, as in relocated down there, and obviously they loved you down there as well. Like, why are they just like a British accent, or like what's the interest there?
That's a good question. So when I started in Melbourne, it was 2009, and I think there was a good opening for me, because up until that point, traditionally it had been the men doing the horses and the serious side of things and the betting and all of that, and the women doing the like colourful stuff, the fashion and the social and all of that. And I think it was a bit of a novelty having someone who knew about horses, who also looked all right. And I think there is a bit of an element of like them enjoying the fact that that someone from this part of the world goes over and is like, wow, this Australian racing is great. There's a little bit of that kind of insecurity, a tiny bit. I'm probably getting in trouble for saying this, of like, if someone comes over and validates like what we've got and says the Melbourne Cup's amazing and all of that stuff and really talks about it enthusiastically, it kind of
I get it. Yeah. Interesting. I think I've said it before. I'm going to be a huge hit down there.
And I'm just thinking, you are.
I was actually reacted to that.
I was still on the last question. I'm just thinking whether it's a sport and an area that necessarily attracts females in Australia so much. Because I think we have a slightly different grounding here, that we have more pony club and hunting and
The equestrian, there's very female push on the equestrian side.
Yeah, and Australia's become so kind of city dominated that I'm not sure you necessarily get so much of that.
I see what you're saying.
Talent coming through. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, it's just interesting. It feels, But anyway,
you are going to be a hit down there. Well, we're going to get on to listener questions shortly because we have had a lot of them. But someone said, will you come to Melbourne?
Yeah, and the answer is yes. Just somebody buy me a ticket.
The answer is
so I think, have we not spoken about this before? But my whole situation is obviously, so I tend to go out to the Breeders' Cup, which clashes basically. So I'm going out to Del Mar. It's at Del Mar again. Can't wait for that. Put my ticket, my accommodation. Excited. Got a place right on the beach. Thrilled. Nice. It's going to be great. I'm going for a day less this time around, so it's only 5 days. So it'll be a bit of a flying visit. Because by the time you land in, you do like Breeders' Cup breakfast the Wednesday, Thursday, then it's race day Friday, Saturday. So it's actually only 4 full days, and then I'll come home on the Sunday.
Oh, right.
And I've got to get back for a few things, so it is going to be a bit of a flying visit, but I can't wait. I love it every year. I know I've said that loads, but it's a bad old clash. But where it'll hopefully switch around is that, so Howden Insurance, they are very heavily involved in Australia now, and they sponsor Derby Day, don't they, down in Melbourne. And so there's always been kind of the rough idea of like a bit of chat about I could, because obviously I work for Howden at Ascot, and there's a job that's similar to what I do at Ascot down there. But their point is, and I totally get it, is like, look, we'd kind of love to have you type of thing, but it's a long way to send you when we can just use somebody down there, which I totally understand. But I think the more they do down there, the more opportunity there might be in that regard.
We need to get lots of different jobs.
Yes.
So, Running Loose podcast in Australia.
Goes live in Australia. Yeah.
Do a Howden gig.
Yeah.
Any kind of betting gigs or something we can get you?
I'm sure we can. I'm sure. Like misguided confidence.
Sure. Well, we have lots of Australian viewers.
Get in contact. So get in contact. If you want me in Australia, which one person at least does because they've messaged in, then help get me there. Make it happen.
We are thrilled to have All Gold Racing sponsoring season 3 of Running Loose.
They're one of the UK's leading racehorse syndicates, making ownership fun and affordable, with shares starting from just £60.
As an owner, you'll get weekly updates on your horse, the chance to win race day tickets, and invitations to stable visits.
And All Gold have horses in training all over the UK and in Ireland as well now, with none other than Henry de Bromhead.
Head over to allgoldracing.com to find out more. And as a special offer to Running Loose listeners, enter the code RL15 for 15% off your first share.
Plus, anyone who redeems that discount code will automatically go into a draw to win a magnificent bundle of 10 horse shares, and that's a brilliant way to get involved. Should we do the listener questions? Because we did promise them in episode 7. And we haven't even started.
No, we should.
Are you ready? Okay, so I haven't actually teed Cheska up for any of these. Now, anybody who knows Cheska just hates this sort of like random thing because she doesn't know what to say.
Why don't I take the phone and see the question?
No, because I like you feeling awkward and uncomfortable.
Great.
It's my favourite. So there was one that I wanted to start with. Here we go. This is a classic.
Oh, no.
No, this actually isn't a question. I think you're going to find this funny.
Okay.
So this is from Alex Lambert. Thank you so much for getting in contact, Alex. And he sent this in, and I got set. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I'm going to have to read this out, and I got the opportunity. Bear with me on this, but it's funny. Dear both, I've really enjoyed listening to the podcast, and you've brought a refreshing perspective to the happenings around race days and the wider racing audience. Thank you, Alex. However, as the preeminent racing fashion podcast, your help is now required to stage an immediate intervention. This weekend, now I think this was just after Haydock Sprint Cup Day.
Yeah.
This weekend saw
Ed... about my outfit, is it?
No.
The one that you didn't like? Okay, good.
This weekend saw Ed Chamberlain sully himself in front of a national audience by, as a fully grown man, inexplicably choosing to wear white trainers with his suit. Not only did he look ridiculous, but surely it's unbecoming of his lead role presenting racing on a Group 1 race day. To compound this further, Rishi Prasad followed suit, literally, and made exactly the same faux pas on Luck on Sunday less than 24 hours later. This is a call to arms. Can the Running Loose podcast and listeners mobilise the campaign to put an immediate stop to this utter buffoonery?
Yeah, can I just say, thank you, Alex, for sending that in, and thanks for reading that out, because this is actually something that has been going on all season. So
go on, throw those lads under the fashion bus.
I think they think I'm a real, like, old stick in the mud and a real, like, whatever, because traditionalist, because, like, the likes of Rishi and Ed, I've got to say, they are the two main offenders. Oh, Jason's a little bit on the cusp as well. They'll wear a suit, and then when these sometimes full white trainers, or sometimes like blue on top, you know, like leather upper with a white sole.
Dreadful.
But that Haydock Sprint Cup day, we went to film an opener on the track, and I was like, Are you wearing those for the show? Like, very smart blue suit, and then fully white trainers. I was like,
where's that come from?
I don't know. A couple of times I've made the comment, and it's been like, no, but we're down with the kids. This is what the kids are wearing, and we're really trendy, and you're just an old stick in the mud because would you want us to wear like leather-soled black shoes? And I'm like, yeah, that would be preferable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a call to arms. Well, this is it. It's starting now, the campaign. Sort yourself out, lads.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I'm no fashion expert, but even I can tell you don't want to look like you've got orthopedic issues when you're on air. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's coming from you with your size 9s.
Well, quite. Right. Sarah Boker says, sorry, Cheska, but I agree with Vanessa Ryle re the outfits. They were a bit driving Miss Daisy.
Oh.
And now, so this is interesting.
Lots of people on Instagram
yeah.
the outfit, and
so this is
my support. So
yeah,
what
that
was
was
the
fair.
result of the poll?
Oh, like just heavily weighted towards a positive reaction to your outfit. So this is in regards to the fact that I said she looked dreadful on Haydock Sprint Cup day, actually. And not dreadful, but like she was out of Downton Abbey. So we put up a poll, and actually all you guys bloody loved it. You're all just too nice out there.
No,
anyway, Sarah agreed with me, so that's good. We like that. Well done, Sarah.
Take that one out. Meanwhile, I've drained my gin and tonic.
Yeah, you have. You've sort of rushed that quite quickly. Oh, this was interesting. Sorry. And this is totally... This was interesting.
Just scrolling through the ones that you like.
Yeah, well, this is from Mark Bailey. Thank you, Mark. Hi, love your podcast. Though watch it on YouTube most of the time. I think it's great, and it's more like two friends chatting, but still remains informative. One thing that I don't think gets enough airtime is people with disabilities going racing.
Oh.
He said, I have Parkinson's disease for around 10 years, and I have found courses vary in how disability is looked at. I've been a racing fan forever, and he sort of goes on to explain why. I'm still mobile, can struggle walking distances. So doing my bucket list of going to every course in England, Scotland and Wales, and don't have too many more to go. I've probably waffled on too long, but thank you for a great show. And I'm Vanessa, and basically he's a fan of mine.
And Vanessa is great.
Yeah, Vanessa is great. But I'm not going to read that out. But I thought that was interesting because, again, it's just something we don't take into consideration.
No.
You know, you'd never really think about that on a race course, and I wouldn't know where to start with advising.
There's a few different kind of initiatives, like autism in racing.
Autism in racing,
kind of the quiet room.
Yeah, which I like that, yeah.
Which is good.
But I thought, it's like, you know, we're blessed that we don't really have to think about that. But imagine.
It's probably the same across whether it's a sport or other things. You know, some places will be well catered to, and other places probably a little bit less well catered. But
especially those tracks that don't have much of a budget for the upgrading of a few places.
Something to keep in mind.
Elizabeth Collins got in contact and said, not really a question, but I totally agree with Cheska that ITV should be at the Arc rather than doing it from the UK. Lizzie, we agree with that.
Year.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we've got a new 4-year contract.
That was cool, isn't it?
That's cool. Yeah. So it's going to take us to 2030. What is that? 117 days of the year we'll be showing live on ITV, which I think is more terrestrial coverage than any other sport in this country. It is amazing.
It also is terrifying if we lost that terrestrial coverage, how negative that would be. And so, you know, when that gets announced, what pisses me off, actually, maybe this should be my riled up. Should we do riled up now?
Yeah, go on. We've forgotten the last episode, so go on.
No, we really did. Should we do riled up now?
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Ryle. Okay, wait. Are you
out.
actually riled up this time?
Yeah.
We're going to say what pisses me off. Okay,
yeah,
so that's
I've
good.
just started with what
okay,
pisses
ready.
me off.
What pisses
Francesca tries to
me
take
off.
riled up away from me because I'm not riled up about enough things in life.
Yeah.
I'm not annoyed. You ready?
Ready, go.
Okay, what pisses me off is people's reaction to positive racing news things. So the ITV Racing having another 4-year contract is huge and it's very positive. And the only reaction racing gives is, oh, get Francesca Cumani off the telly. Or
Is it? I didn't see that. Thanks.
Or like, you know, here are the presenters I don't like, or this is how I change it, and all of that. It's like, it's not about the presenters. It's not about each individual person that's on there. It's about the sport as a whole and the fact that it's just being given terrestrial airtime till 2030. It's so important.
30 seconds.
It really pisses me off. It's like, never mind about like your pathetic, you know, I like so-and-so and I don't like X, Y, and Z. No one cares, Mark, who still lives with his mum. Like literally no one cares. And I say that in the nicest, no, not in the nicest possible sense. But I say it because it's like, you might not like jam on your toast, but I do. And it doesn't mean that jam's not going to be sold. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, as in, just because you don't like X or Y on ITV, it literally doesn't matter because somebody else will. Yeah. So, like,
I think we'd like you on ITV. Should we start a campaign to get Vanessa?
Another campaign.
On ITV?
Get Vanessa to Melbourne. Get Vanessa on ITV. Any other campaigns?
Well, we'll find some more.
I would love to be on ITV Racing.
What kind of role would you have if you were on it?
I think I'd like the sort of. I think I would like the Rishi Prasad type role.
Yeah.
As in, I don't really see myself. You know, I don't do any studio work with Sky for a reason. Really, I see myself much more as like an out with the people. You know, as in. I'm much better with people. I like being out with the horses. I like being behind the scenes, and I like interviewing people. Yeah. And I think, and not like this isn't an ITV selling pitch, but like I like talking to people, and I seem to.
Rishi better watch out. Dodgy shoes.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Rishi's had a bit of a.
Rishi's got so many jobs. I can't keep up.
Yeah, and also we both love Rishi, so that's fine. It's hard not to love him. Yeah. But you know, I love the idea of, you know. Even when I think I've said to you before, even when I'm at Wolverhampton for Sky and I do an interview with an owner or a trainer, and for whatever reason the winner means loads to them, when I do a good interview, I just get such a kick out of that. I love making people cry.
I also like making people
you know, if you get a tear, you've won at the broadcasting game.
Yeah, you just get kind of
I bet you've never made anyone cry.
I don't really interview.
No, that's why I'm saying that in fairness.
I've never made that up. I have.
Made a few men cry over the years. I can tell you that for nothing.
But I like that you said you want his job, because so often people will comment and be like, oh, well, I think Vanessa should have her job. You know, like they want to swap the girls in for girls.
Girls for girls. Yeah.
Which always annoys me.
That is so funny you say that, because that comes back to me, like, you know, me and the whole being at an all boys school thing, because I have never viewed. So this is like, I didn't realise this was weird until I got into like an adult world and realised it was a bit odd. But I have never viewed people as men or women. If that makes sense. Like if I walked into a room and it was only full of men, it would never cross my mind that it's only full of men, or vice versa. As in, I just see people as they are, and I don't see like the gender before that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're good. Right.
Onwards we go.
Yeah.
Do you want more?
Yeah.
Sharon Hamilton has said, if you could have a 1 hour interview with one person in racing, no holds barred, who would it be and why? I thought it was a good question. Thank you, Sharon.
Who would it be?
No hold bars. I would probably go Shake Mo.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that'd be a great interview.
Yeah.
As in, I have no idea if it would be a great interview, by the way. But if you said to me, you've got a golden ticket like she has, you can interview anyone you want. Imagine getting a Shake Mo interview.
Yeah, that could be quite cool. Is she Murphy?
You'd get stuck into him. Yeah.
I think I would.
Yeah.
He's quite good at like circumnavigating.
Oh, totally.
Kind of
he's a politician, so that would be a T.
It would be a test.
He's a politician. Once you've noticed it, he's got a great, and some of the higher profile people in racing are excellent at this. But you could ask a question about oranges and he'd answer about apples. Do you know what I mean? Like, but you don't. It doesn't feel off. But you ask a question and then he just gives the answer he wants to give. It's very clever.
It's like Aidan O'Brien. I mean,
yeah,
brilliant.
Aidan's
he
another
always
key one.
Talks to people.
And Joseph has learned from
very
him.
Very good at saying a lot without saying anything. So lots of words, but real substance.
How much prep do you do for a shift? I think we've spoken about this before. I can't do a sort of 7 or 8 race card, low level 7 or 8 race card. I couldn't do without I can do it in 4 hours minimum, but it's like phone on, do not disturb, and it might be a rush job. And most of the time I'd leave a whole afternoon.
And don't you find like it really varies? If it's kind of morning and you slept well and you're fresh and all the rest of it, I can rattle through really quickly. Whereas like on day 4 of Royal Ascot, I've got the last day to do, and there's loads of big field handicaps, and I'm tired and fried. I literally end up staring at the screen, being like, none of it's
going in.
None of it's going in. That is hard.
And I'm one of those people, I've got to put my phone away, so I could just be prepping, and then literally halfway through a race, halfway through a horse, anything, I just pick my phone up and go on Instagram. I'm like, what am I doing? Put it down. I'm like, idiot. Sharon also says, by the way, love the podcast. We love you.
Thanks,
right.
Sharon.
A few more questions. Let me pull them up here. Bear with. Kyle King. He was the one who said, can Vanessa come to Melbourne Cup for the week? Well, we're
starting
that,
the campaign. Yeah? Maybe not this year, next year.
King Arthur has asked, what are your warm riding clobber you wear for autumn/winter?
Okay, so riding clobber. I think this is an interesting one. Okay, because I don't really like the way that riding fashion is going. Not that I've been a follower of fashion in any sense, but you go into a tack shop or a riding shop these days and everything's these kind of like yoga pant riding tights and kind of quite plasticky flimsy boots, and like I don't like any of it.
Okay,
I could go into any tack shop and be like, I don't want any of it. So I actually went riding the other day and I wore my cowboy boots.
Oh, nice.
And my jeans.
Yeah.
And like a jumper. And I thought I actually looked quite cool. But it's obviously not about all looks. It's about what's comfortable.
No,
I actually got to say, I've got some gorgeous Dubarry boots and some chaps, which I love. But that's more my kind of
clubbing.
Also hunting kind of vibe. But what's your look?
So I love that like more old fashioned look on a horse. When I went to that wedding the other day, we went cubbing in the morning and
autumn trail hunting.
We went autumn trail hunting in the morning, and a girl who's called Mills Easby, she looks like the most gorgeous like picture on a horse I think I've ever seen. She's gorgeous anyway, but she just dresses beautifully. Yeah. But she has those old fashioned like moleskin, I think they're like moleskin jumpers, bit
like
bigger.
Elephant ears.
Yeah, not massive elephant ears, but not too much, but just looser.
Yeah.
And lovely brown pair of she just looked class, and I thought to myself, I wish I looked like that. I'm not the modern way, but I'm probably somewhere in between. I've got like for my riding out I have a baggier pair of joddies, but then for hunting I actually have a toit pair. Yeah, I know, but I would love there's a brand that does the moleskin ones made to measure, but they're like 380 quid. I'm like, can I just
that's the thing.
Look at what Callie Cole's riding.
Yeah,
she looks great.
I wonder sometimes, like, is there a market for kind of nicer riding stuff? But then maybe most people are like you and I were like, I don't really want to spend 300 quid on a pair of breeches.
Well, no.
Where would you go to get a gorgeous pair of boots?
I don't know, especially with size 9 feet and ridiculously long legs. I'm absolutely fucked. Honestly, the amount of times I've got a pair of boots that I ride in now, I was just lucky to find them, and I haven't had a new pair in years, and I was actually only thinking the other day I need a nicer pair, but it's so hard to fit me.
All the nice stuff is vintage or made to measure.
Yeah,
like I've got a lovely kind of tweed jacket, and my blue hunting coat came from my mother-in-law's friend, and they're like really good quality, like really thick wool.
Like I wear all my mum's hunting gear, like coat and waistcoat. One thing I would say is if you know of any secondhand like hunting shops, let me know, because I
think I do know some.
Oh, good.
I can't remember right now.
Forgot to ask you, but I'm asking the audience instead. We'll carry on. Fancy a few gins next time you're in Musselburgh, from Davy B. That's the most asked out on a date moment I've had, so I'll say yes to that.
I've never been to Musselburgh.
Haven't you? No. Neither have I, actually. I don't know, I'm sounding surprised. Haven't you?
Sure. Sounds like one of your regular kind of tracks.
Yeah, no, it's not, because it's racing TV, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So they can go fuck themselves. I joke.
Any other dates? Any other requests?
No. And also that was a sort of joint date request. It's probably more aimed at you. Okay, last couple of questions. Who do you feel has been one of the most inspirational people you've met in your life? Myself. Every day. An inspiration. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I don't know.
Who is an inspiration to me? I genuinely don't know the answer to that, because I'm just going to have to have given that some more thought.
Me too.
Because I feel like I have met inspirational people. I tell you, not famous in any way, shape or form, but my friend, when I lived with my friend Hannah Brown,
she's cool.
She was pretty inspirational in terms of when I first left, like moved out of home and got a job down here. I moved in with her and her friend Abby Walters, and that's where we filmed a few episodes ago. And Hannah was just like such a guiding light for me in how to be an adult.
Yeah.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but she just had her shit together. She was nailing it in what she is, and she consistently nails it career-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But she, looked after herself. She like ran a whole, two homes actually. Just, I don't know, she just had her shit together, and it really set me up for like how to behave and how to be an adult.
Yeah.
And I'd say, and just her get up and go. Like, in my head, I thought you could do this much in a day. And then I met Hannah Brown and I realised you can do this much in a day. And it's like, be better. Yeah. She'd be inspirational to me.
Yeah.
You don't have anyone, so that's great.
Right now.
I think that's about it. We did have that time capsule.
You're going to talk about Shirley?
Forgot Shirley.
As I was looking at the old
last point
here.
before we wrap up. So one thing we wanted to say at the top of the show is that we're obviously still filming at Tattersalls, as we've already touched upon. We got dragged down the rabbit hole of why we love this red room so much. But one thing we wanted to mention is that in this red room, there's a load of shots of like famous people from Tattersalls, and they're all men through the years, essentially. Mm-hmm. And it led me on to think that I must also mention the fact that my friend Shirley Anderson-Jolag, she became the first female bloodstock auctioneer in the whole world when she sold horses here at Tattersalls last year.
Wow.
And now obviously she's on the auctioneering rota, so she does set amounts at each sale, and she's the first and only female auctioneer of bloodstock. There's lots of female auctioneers of art, funnily enough, but not of the bloodstock world. And so she made history, and rightly so. She's got plenty of press and publicity as a result. And what I love is like, this is an old institution, and it has been so male dominated over the years, and she really broke through a glass ceiling there. And
do you think there's a reason? I'm a bit like the fact that there are very, well, I was going to say few, if any, female race callers.
Yeah.
Is there a reason? Like, is it the voice?
I think there is a reason. I think the voice thing is huge. That's what the feedback that's been in the commentating sphere and also in the auctioneering sphere is you have to have a strong voice. And obviously if you don't have the right voice, when you get to a certain level, you can sound screechy, unpleasant on the ears. It's just like fact. Females have a high pitch and tone of voice. So I think that is a massive factor. But
how did she find it when she started? Was she really nervous?
Oh my God, so nervous. Yeah, God bless her. It was a huge deal. She'd been building up to it for literally well over a year.
And loads of attention.
Loads of attention. Well. There was loads of press around it. It was huge for her.
And there's a bit of a thing, isn't there? As a vendor, you want to know who's selling your horse. And there are obviously some that are preferred over others.
Yeah, but she was really helped in that sphere because she's worked here at Tattersalls for years. She had a great relationship with all the vendors. She has a great relationship with them. So there was a lot of support for her, which was great. But, I know her. I know from being a friend of hers, she's had her struggles in terms of just getting her tone and pitch right in there, because obviously she doesn't want to sound like a soft or low level voice. You've got to sound really strong. So she's still, even though she started at the back end of last year, she still does loads of practicing, and they've done a lot of work with her microphone and things to make sure that they are getting the right tone right with her.
Had she always wanted to do it? How did she get into it?
So she's trained in drama and she's trained in opera as well. So she had that sort of background. And I think she's always wanted to, she's not that she's always wanted to be an auctioneer, but definitely since she started at Tattersalls and then tying in her background, I think she had a bit of a notion a few years back and has kind of worked towards it ever since.
Yeah.
It's great though, isn't it? And so one day, Shirley, your picture will be here in this dreadfully painted way, and we'll be able to reflect on that. So positively.
Put it in the time capsule.
In the time capsule
we didn't get to.
No, we've got to wrap up. I've got a premiere to go to.
You've got a premiere to go to?
Yeah.
I'll check you out. What premiere?
Champions Full Gallop, I told you in the last episode.
Oh, the star.
Yeah, I know. You're not invited, are you?
No. I am much more fun going to my friend Georgie Girl's birthday party, who, funnily enough, was a female art auctioneer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Never knew that.
So that's me this evening, and then on to Ascot for the weekend where I'll see you there.
Lucky you.
Well, it's the end of the season.
I know.
Are you going to miss me again? Can we make you a hugger? Yeah, we're going to hug. She's not a natural hugger. Come on. Lean into it. She's really embracing this.
This is why.
Well, I'll miss you. This
is why I don't have children and she has 3.
Hopefully you guys miss us as we go on a little break. But we'll be back for season 4.
Can't wait.